Ocean County Library waiver. All activities pose a degree of risk. We urge you to talk to your physician before beginning any exercise program and to be especially careful if you have any health issues. If you experience any pain or discomfort associated with any activity, you should stop immediately and consult your physician. Presently, we are in a global crisis very much out of our control. What we can control is our acceptance to the current conditions rather than resistance, as we work towards finding a semblance of peace in our own lives. Why should we do these seated exercises? Yoga teaches us that everything is connected. Yoga supports our bodies in ways that can even reduce the impact stress has on our own physical body. It also provides opportunities for us to slow down and listen. Maybe that slowing down will allow us to sleep better. Yoga is more than just physical postures, which is just one aspect of yoga. Yoga is unique because we connect the mind, body, and breath. It helps us to direct our attention inward. We learn to recognize our habitual thought patterns without labeling them, judging them, or trying to change them. We become more aware of our experiences from moment to moment. The awareness that we cultivate is what makes yoga a practice, rather than a task or goal to be completed. Your body will most likely become much more flexible by doing yoga, and so will your mind. The ultimate goal of any yoga practice is to attain moksha, meaning liberation or freedom. So how does one go about attaining this freedom through yoga? Can you reach it by finally touching your toes? Probably not. According to yogic philosophy, there is an eightfold path that leads us to liberation. It includes 8 limbs that guide practitioners to a more meaningful and purposeful life. Asana, or physical yoga, is the most recognized part of yoga in the West, but accounts for only one of those 8 limbs. The first 2 limbs are the yamas and niyamas, a set of ethical rules for living. Yamas focus on social constraints, which anyone who is currently practicing social distancing will surely understand. If we adopt these practices, we can manage our response in these uncertain times, our contribution to a fragile society, and our own wellness and mental health. The first yama is AHIMSA, non-harming. We can practice this yama by avoiding harm towards the community and harm towards ourselves. Be kind to yourself at this time by setting aside negative thoughts directed at yourself or this situation. Practice feeling gratitude for what you do have. Support your friends and neighbors. Speak and act only to uplift, never to demean, destroy, or incite. According to yoga tradition, the subtle body is part of you that you can't see or touch. It is where your energy flows, which is why it's also referred to as the energy body. There are 7 key points in the subtle body that are thought to be vortexes of energy, known as chakras. When energy becomes blocked in a chakra, it triggers physical, mental, or emotional imbalances that manifest in symptoms such as anxiety, lethargy, or poor digestion. A yoga practice can free up energy and stimulate an imbalanced chakra. Start by thinking of chakras as a blueprint for your own self-care and your yoga practice as the architect that makes that blueprint a reality. For example, the root chakra is associated with earth. When it's in balance, we feel strong and grounded. When it is out of balance, we may feel unrooted and insecure. Or take the pelvic chakra, which is associated with water. When it's in balance, we feel fluid and our creative juices are flowing. When it's not, we might feel rigid, dry, or emotionally brittle, like a plant that hasn't been watered enough. Yoga breathing techniques can keep your muscles warm and your mind calm. If your breathing gets shallow, your muscles will stiffen, which can lead to injury. Breathe fully and completely when you're in the pose. You might notice that the deeper your breath is, the deeper your stretch will be. Whether you're hunched over a laptop in a makeshift workspace or slouch on the couch, binge watching TV, you know and can feel that sometimes sitting for too long without movement can sabotage your health. From head to toe, these simple exercises can provide relief, restore muscle function, and improve posture. Doing neck rolls is not only about releasing tension, but releasing any blockages we may have in the throat area. When there's an imbalance in the throat chakra, you may notice you have a harder time communicating effectively. You may become extremely quiet or may have loud emotional outbursts. Perform neck rolls or neck stretches toward the front or the side of your neck. It is very hard to extend our necks without compressing the back of the neck. Wrist pain can be frustrating. It can make work or basic day-to-day activities such as using a computer or cooking a meal more difficult. If your hands and fingers feel painful and stiff, try warming them up before you exercise. This can make it easier to move and stretch. Use a heating pad or soak them in warm water for about 5 to 10 minutes. Or for a deeper warmth, rub some oil on your hands. Put on a pair of rubber gloves and then soak them in warm water for a few minutes. The 7 main chakras are represented in the hand. Exercising the hands will help release blockages. You can also do a mudra called Sa, Ta, Na, Ma, where you use your thumb to touch your fingers while chanting the mantra. Mantra means an often repeated word or phrase, and mudra means a motion of the hands or a dance of the hands. It is designed to be uplifting. There are many interpretations for each of these sounds, one being that there is no meaning to the sounds at all, but simply a vibration and a stimulation of 84 acupressure points in the palate of the mouth, which occurs when you sing and whisper the words. Other translations of the sounds are: Sa is birth, the beginning. Ta is life, existence, and creativity. Na is death, change, and the transformation of consciousness. Ma is rebirth. Make a conscious effort to improve your eye health. Always start with palming, which means rubbing your palms vigorously and gently cupping them over your eyes. The energy created from this can give your tired eyes some comfort. It also reduces the stimuli to your eyes and brain, giving them a chance to relax. Doing a figure 8 with your eyes will strengthen the eye muscles and improve their flexibility. These exercises activate your third eye chakra, which provides the energy for spiritual reflection and insight. Everyone is intuitive. It's just a matter of finding the confidence to trust it. When our sixth chakra is blocked, it leads us to intuition being blocked. Because of this, we often limit ourselves and our abilities. We second-guess our value and sense of self-worth. Also, if possible, when you do the eye exercises, end with palming. A seated cat and cow pose can open the chest, take pressure of the spine, and it stretches the back. As any pose, it gets its benefits only if the breathing is kept in mind while practicing. Inhale as you open up the heart, and exhale as you arch your back like an angry cat. As when we do any neck exercise, make sure that you lengthen the neck as you gaze up so you don't pinch any nerves on the back of the neck. Side bends release the compression between the vertebrae and increase your range of motion. Side bends also stretch the muscles between the ribs, called the intercostal muscles. These muscles can get short and tight in daily life due to time spent sitting and slouching. Tight intercostals can weaken your posture, resulting in neck and shoulder tension. The piriformis is a small muscle that contributes to sacral stability. It is primarily an external rotator, one of a number of small deep muscles that rotate the leg outward at the hip. It is notorious for causing sciatic pain. When the piriformis gets tight, it pinches the sciatic nerve and causes a burning pain at the various points along the nerve's path, which runs from the buttocks all the way down to the foot. Be kind to yourself. Some days you may only be able to cross your ankles instead of your legs. You're still stretching. Do not judge yourself. Accept where you are at the moment. Slumping over a computer at the office, slouching behind the steering wheel, sitting in chairs that offer poor back support, and standing with our shoulders drooping forward are all things that most of us do on a daily basis. All of these habits can lead to back pain. Twist, stretch, and strengthen the back muscles, which can provide serious relief from the back pain caused by everyday life. Twists are wonderful postures when dealing with stress or anxiety. These postures will help open the chest, shoulders, and back, all of which can help to decrease feelings of anxiousness. You will be releasing stored tension in the body as you twist, which you can have a positive effect on your mental state. You will get double the benefit if you combine your twists with slow, rhythmic breathing as well. The organs are compressed during a twist, which pushes metabolic byproducts and toxins out of our bodies. When we release the twist, fresh blood flows in, carrying oxygen and the building blocks for tissue healing. It is important to lengthen the spine when we do twists. Being slumped over limits the spinal rotation. When we sit for long periods of time, the lower spine contracts and the posterior muscles in our legs, particularly the hamstrings, shorten. It creates tight joints and contributes to poor posture. Yoga works wonders for improving both flexibility and the strength of your postural muscles. A modified yoga down dog pose using your desk, chair, or kitchen table, or hinging at the hips over a straight leg, always remembering to have a slight bend at the knee, will stretch the entire back of your body. There are many benefits to forward bends. They create length and space in the spine, counteracting compression, and their inward nature can promote introspection. Yet forward bends can also be a challenge to many people, especially those with tight hamstrings. Patterns such as overstretched back muscles and rounded shoulders, most likely from sitting in front of a computer for hours, are often exacerbated in forward bending poses. Don't force it. Forward bends are not about how deep you can go, but rather how deeply you can release. There's no need to struggle or force the body to get into position it's not ready for. Instead, surrender to the present moment. Notice the experience and settle into the breath. Sitting for hours shortens and tightens the hip flexors. The glutes compensate by lengthening, which can lead to dead butt syndrome, where the glutes weaken and struggle to keep the body in proper alignment. And let's not forget our feet. Feet have a big job. They provide the ultimate foundation for our body and allow us to move, balance, and stay grounded. When you nourish your feet, you are nourishing your body from the ground up. If you are able, massage the bottom of your feet, which will start to loosen connective tissue that runs up the back of your body, including the calves and hamstrings. You should try to start and end your practice with a meditation. This meditation can include a grounding visualization and some breath work. This can take a few seconds or a few minutes. It helps us define our practice. It says this is our time. Give yourself time to rest and reboot, much like you shut down your computer from time to time to get it to perform more efficiently. Mindfulness is a type of meditation. It can help stop the constant chatter in our minds, allowing people to take time to recognize and cope with their emotions. This may be especially helpful during these uncertain times, where many people are grieving the loss of their former lives. It is grief created by so much uncertainty. In meditation, your only job is to follow your breath and notice what your mind is doing while that's happening. It's also important to refrain from judging yourself or anything that's happening in the moment. If your mind wanders, just notice that, accept that your mind has wandered, and focus on your breathing. Next, we will demonstrate some of these poses.
Hello, thank you for joining me. I'm going to be demonstrating some of the poses that were in the presentation. As always, AHIMSA, be kind to yourself. Do not do anything that might harm you in any way. There's always a way to adapt the poses. Sitting comfortably, allowing your feet to feel grounded, tall spine, shoulders relaxed, heart is open. And just take a moment and breathe. Do not judge, do not adapt. Just notice your breath for a few moments. If it makes it to feel more comfortable, you can place your hands in your belly and just notice the gentle lift and fall. You can also imagine roots growing out from the bottom of your feet, allowing you to feel more grounded and steady. Knowing that this is your time. Relax your shoulders a little bit more. Make sure your jaws are not clenched. And taking your right ear towards your right shoulder. Just go as far as is comfortable. No pain. If it's comfortable to bring your arm up, do so. If it isn't, don't do it. Inhaling back to center. And as you exhale, go towards the other side. Make sure you're breathing. Inhale back to center. Do half circles. I usually say just to stay with the heart, half circles instead of circling all the way to your back, because we tend to not extend enough and we might pinch a nerve back there. And then gently, one more each side. And come back to center. We're going to exercise our eyes. Just moving your eyes, not your face. Your eyes to the 12 o'clock position, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock. From here going back to 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Now bring them to your 1, 2 o'clock and go diagonally to your 7, 8 o'clock. Bring your eyes to your 10, 11 o'clock and go diagonally to your 4, 5 o'clock. Come back to center and now start doing figure eights with your eyes. Jaws relaxed, shoulders are relaxed. You can even imagine yourself skating over there, making those figure eights. And now coming back to center. And now we're going to cup with our hands over our eyes. Just warming up our hands. If you can, do this also at the beginning of the exercises. Just gently warms them up. When you feel your hands are warm enough, just gently cup them over your eyes. And just leave them here for as long as it's comfortable for you, or it feels comfortable, or it feels just right. And gently release, bringing your hands forward, point and flex. Round one side, and then the other. Maybe playing a little piano, or if available, you can bring your thumb to your fingers. This helps with dexterity. You can also do a mantra. It's called Satanama. Satanama. And in the presentation, it talks all about it. And then gently shake it and let it go. Again, feeling your feet grounded, sit bones on the chair. Inhale, exhale, reach towards one side. Shoulder blades towards each other. What's important here is that your sit bones really stay on that chair. You don't want to be reaching and leaning. Keep the sit bones. You're lengthening the intercostal muscles. You are breathing. You inhale back to center, and as you exhale, you go over to the other side. If your hands hurt to bring them up, keep them at heart center. You're still going to be stretching those muscles. Just breathing in and out. Lengthening. And on your next inhale, come back to center. Inhale, and as you exhale, twist towards the right. We always twist towards the right first. It helps in digestion, and this is the way it pushes our intestines so the toxins come out. Both shoulders are relaxed. You are breathing. Your jaws relax. You inhale back to center, and you exhale towards the other side. Focus on your abdominals. That's the part that we're really working on here. If your body allows it, then you twist a little to the chest and maybe the neck. But focus here. This is the part that needs to twist. And you are breathing. And you are matching your breath to the poses. And on your next inhale, we come back to center. We're going to do cat and cow. As you inhale, you open up your heart. Do not pinch back here. You're lengthening through the whole of the neck. And as you exhale, you're arching your back like an angry cat. Follow your own breath, not my breath. Enjoy the movement. This usually feels very pleasant to your back. And if it doesn't, of course, you don't do it. AHIMSA. One more each side. And remember, this is just to demonstrate. If you want to do it for longer or shorter, you do so. And inhale back to center. Bringing your feet forward and point and flex. You could always leave them on the floor and point and flex. Go around one side and then the other. Little windshield wiper motion. And if you can play piano with your feet, you go right ahead and do a little piano thing. Come back to center. Bringing one ankle to the thigh. If this is uncomfortable, leave it by your shin, leave it by your ankle. You're going to still stretch either way. So I'm going to do this leg over my ankle, and I'll switch to over my thigh on the other side. So inhale. As you exhale, bring your heart forward. Leave your sit bones on the chair. Lengthen through the whole of the spine. Shoulders relax. You don't want to arch over this pose. You're lengthening and you're breathing. Inhale back to center. Switch sides. Inhale as you exhale. Extend. Lengthen. Breathe. And again, no pain. We just want a nice stretch. Inhale back to center. Extend one leg. Always leave a little micro bend. Otherwise, this is going to hurt your joints. Toes are up. Inhale as you exhale, keeping your back straight. Lengthen. And gently fold over. And you are breathing. You're stretching the back of your thighs. Inhale back to center. Switch sides. And if you need to bend the leg more to do this, then you do so. Just make sure you're lengthening the back. These leg poses are great for sciatica, but not when your sciatica is active. At that point, it might be more painful. You try and you see AHIMSA. Inhale back to center. Extend both legs. Again, always that micro bend. And actually, you could put your feet on the floor. It's what your body says to do. Inhale as you exhale, extend again. Lengthen. Breathe. And then this time, do stretch a little bit more. And you can bend over. Breathe. On your next inhale, come back up. Give yourself a little stretch. This time with your feet on the floor. Come forward. We always want to end a practice with our heart going towards our legs, just to bring the thought of introspection into our practice. We're going back in. Inhale back to center. Just sit here for a moment, feeling grounded and steady. Long, tall spine. Shoulders relaxed. Breathing in and out. Relaxing your feet, your toes, your ankles. Relaxing your shins and your calves, your knees, your thighs front and back. Relaxing your pelvis and your buttocks, your low, mid, and upper back, your abdomen, low and mid upper chest. Relax your shoulders, upper arms, elbows, forearms and wrists. Relax your hands, your wrists, your fingers. Relax your neck, your face, relax the back of the head. Relax the top of the head. Relax your whole body, whole body, whole body. And just take a few moments here to breathe and feel grounded. No judgment. Being in the present moment. And wiggling your fingers and your toes. Moving your head from side to side. Moving in any way that feels good to your body, whatever that may be. Bringing your hands to heart center. Namaste means the light within me acknowledges the light within you. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.
Support public libraries. Like, share, and subscribe for more great videos.